Hello, everyone. Welcome to my presentation regarding the application of artificial intelligence and machine learning in streaming analytics. It's really amazing that we can have this session today with our faces uncovered and all the industry here. I'm really so thankful that I have this opportunity to share all of this with you. I am Marc Maycas, and I am the VP of Product at our company called NPAW, or Nice People at Work. And what we actually are doing at NPAW, we have a business intelligence or a data intelligence platform, and also a one-stop shop to find all the needed insights and tools to manage any video service. If you want to know what more we are doing in the show, come visit us at our booth in booth 10,122, which is over there. So, regarding the application of artificial intelligence and machine learning in the streaming media space, we have run a survey with our customers, with more than 200 industry executives in August and September last year in 2021. And we have been asking them about how useful do you believe that artificial intelligence and machine learning will be helping you in delivering better streaming experiences to all your users with more quality and more reliability. Basically, what we have seen is that the application of AI and ML in media is still at an early stage. A lot of people is still thinking about getting insights or getting metrics and filter by dimensions, but they are not thinking in some cases what they can do with that data and what kind of algorithms and what kind of power that AI and machine learning can provide in terms of predicting what may happen in the future. So this is why the majority of them, they believe that these kind of applications will transform or will have an impact on the streaming services, but in different degrees. As you can see, 52% though, they believe that they will have a huge impact and they will generate a lot of transformation. Some other people believes that there will be an impact, but there won't be a very transformative one. I disagree a little bit with them, but as we will see, what we can do. Some others, they believe that they will have no significant impact, and then there is some people that they believe they will have an impact, but it will be negative. Actually, I would like to know who these two people are, or two or four people are, because I would like to have a conversation with them, but it was an anonymous survey. And also, we also believe, and that's why I'm here as well, that AI and ML will have a wide application across multiple elements on delivering services. In our case, we are going to look at a couple of examples, more in the data analytics space, but also in the streaming media and in coding, delivery, and so on. There are other fields that artificial intelligence can help. So, regarding the industry trends for the different organizations when trying to use data, we are seeing that the amount of data is increasing rapidly. We are not only looking at small subsets of data, we are talking about the big data, but at some point, I like to say that we're talking about the huge data. We're talking about tons of different sources of data that actually correlate all together, that at some point are very difficult to manage because there are different sources that need to be correlated at some point. And also, data is used by all teams and departments in the organization. Even people that doesn't know anything about math or not much about math, or people that doesn't work with data, they need to rely on it in order to take decisions. Me, as a product manager, I'm totally into trying to understand how I can use that data in order to build better products. So since the amount of data is getting huge and is getting difficult to manage by human beings across the different tools that they have, and then taking into account that there is non-trained data people or non-trained people that is actually using data for the day-to-day business, understanding the insights that you can get out of them besides the number of specific metric reaches 10 or reaches 3%, understanding what's the meaning behind that, it's key, and getting the insights is also that key. So in our company, in NPAW, we are mainly focusing on video and application data that gets collected from the applications of our end customers and also ingested into what we call our NPAW suite of products. However, not only video and application data is needed in order to perform well in a video-based service. Maybe we want to get data from the CRM, maybe we want to get data from transactions, how many videos I have sold, and so on, the payment wall. There are tons of different sources that need to be aggregated and correlated, and that's impossible if you don't have a good tool that can actually collect everything and that you can say, this user ID, for example, correlates with this other user ID that you are collecting, so mix the data in, get me the insights that you can get out of that. But not only collecting the data and doing SQL and database processes is enough. You need to put that intelligence in it that actually provides those insights, that in the end, insights is a synonym of value. What are the key success factors that we believe that we need to follow or we need to comply with? Basically, we need to understand the data. We need to have the possibility to understand what we're working with, how we can clean it, how we can process it, how this data is going to be useful for my needs. Secondly, we need to have user interaction in it. We have to keep the humans in the loop. We have to get data scientists, we have to get people that knows about data and have them into the process so they can understand and generate those insights and generate that information that in the end is going to help you out. Also, you need to consider that AI and ML is not just an accessory. It's not something that you are going to use once and forget about it. You need to implement it into the process in your whole data pipelines or your whole going to production pipelines. You need to include those steps in order to analyze, predict, and change. And finally, it's also important. I'm coming from Europe. Our company is based in the sunny Barcelona in Spain. And actually, data privacy is really, really important. Why is it important? Because users sometimes they want to be tracked, and we need to comply with this kind of anonymous users that they don't want to be tracked, but they have data that is good for our service to perform better. So a couple of applications that we are going to cover in here that we're using as NPAW. The first one is AI alerts. So as I was saying before, you have to take a look at the data. You have to try to understand it, but sometimes having the human looking at the graphs, looking how the different metrics evolve, it's complex and it's complicated. So having AI alerts, this makes this easy for you. Actually, you are relying on someone else to detect your problems. It's having like an intern that is going to look at the data, thousands of different screenshots of graphs and they filter data, and they will just analyze if there is something that is not working properly. These AI alerts will help you to fine-tune your landscape in a way that actually that feedback that you're getting, all the problems that you're fixing will be implemented into your code, into your application, so then later on, you don't need to have to worry about all these use cases. New ones will appear, but you don't need them. In the end, everything is about improving the quality that you're providing to your end users. So basically, how this is working at NPAW is that we have an intelligent anomaly detection setup. It's a kind of algorithm in the machine learning and AI space that based on more than 85 plus metrics and dimensions that we can collect, or also taking into account that you, in our platform, you can create your own metrics out of all the information that you're getting, not only the standard ones that we provide. The idea is that this is detecting anomalies based on the slope of the curves of all the metrics that we have. Basically, we are detecting when something is increasing or decreasing beyond what it's normal. So the idea is that once you detect those anomalies and then you implement them inside into the fault and management catalog, you can actually describe those anomalies in create them for tickets for development, or analyze this in the code, what's going on. For example, if you're looking at a player issue that is actually causing me a lot of errors, for example, detecting that and making sure that this never happens again, it's really important. So detecting, changing, improving, that's the idea. And then actually fine-tuning the quality. So as you can see down below, the idea is that our engine collects all the data that we have, creates an alert. That alert is communicated through different communication channels. It could be like an email, it could be like an API callback, it could be a Slack channel, anything that your team is using. Then this is triggering an action inside your own team in order to solve the problem that's behind it, and then that leads to improvement. Without forgetting that we also need to implement this and keep monitoring so we can actually see if we are not only doing better or not, but that by fixing one problem, we are not getting another one. And then basically everything that you can see here is that what needs to be implemented inside the migration and release and changes that you're doing in your own application. So by including this process into the specific process, so in the same way that we are developing an application and doing some QA, we need to develop the application, check that the anomalies that we were detecting are not happening anymore, QAing the application, launching it, and keep monitoring it inside the loop. Centralizing this internally is key. Basically, as well, the idea for anomaly detection, sometimes we have tons of issues happening, and we need to sometimes cover one step at a time. Don't try to solve all the problems. Try to get a prioritization. Actually, the system is telling you what's important and what's not, what's generating the most impact or the highest impact to your end users, and what's not generating too much of an issue for those end users. So the idea is analyze and prioritize. This is actually something that your product manager will tell you, that prioritization is key for doing a good product. Prioritize those issues that are actually impacting your system, and then implement them into your day-to-day processes. And also, anomalies are not coming out of the box. They need to be improved, they need to be changed. At some point, there you will be having the same anomaly, but it won't be having the same impact. You need to also consider if that is something that you want to keep iterating on, or it's good enough for you and you will cover it for later. Okay, that's actually something that AI also can tell you and can help you predict if that's something that will happen if you're still going like this. And another use case that I would like to go through with is NALA. NALA is basically a system, it's an assistant, an AI chatbot that actually helps you on understanding how you're doing with your data. You can talk to it, you can actually ask a question, and it will understand your question, will understand your data, and will provide an answer according to what you're looking for. Will understand what you're actually looking for. Basically, this is a way that can help you simplify the daily business. How can NALA do this? Well, basically, NALA, it's coming from natural language processing, and actually what NALA makes or gives you is the possibility to have what we call data democratization, making data available to everyone, breaking all the barriers that we have in order to understand the data, or what do you want to query, maybe you don't know what you want to look for, NALA is there to just tell you what you're looking for. Okay, so it makes it accessible and understandable for everybody. And how does this work? Well, first of all, you need to ask a question. You can do it voiced or text-based. You can ask a question. Then NALA will answer you back with text or widgets or graphs. In our case, for example, since our platform is a video analytics platform, the idea behind that is that we can tell you, for example, I don't understand what this metric is, or I would like to know how to do a specific task. You can ask that and NALA may answer you back with text. However, if you want to see, for example, the evolution of users throughout time that they have been actually accessing my content in every day, so the daily active users, for example, then NALA will just think that you want to see a line chart with the evolution of those. And that's what it will actually answer. Also, by doing this, you reduce the search and preparation times. For example, in the past or in any other tool in the market, what you were doing is actually thinking about what dashboard I can build, how can it look aesthetically good in order that my team can understand the data. But with NALA, sometimes we're going, with NALA it's easy. So we go for the more practical stuff. We actually go for the answer to the question, not having a nice and cute dashboard that I can share with my stakeholders. That will come later. Right now, I want to understand and see what kind of data I have. Then, again, no data analytics skills is required. Basically, you can ask a question without knowing that you have 85 plus metrics and dimensions. You can say, how did my service work yesterday for the football match that I had in Abu Dhabi, for example? And then NALA will understand that you actually were looking for that specific city and something like that. That was an easy question, but there are other more complicated that there are, the data is included in several dimensions that maybe you don't know the name of that dimension, but if you look for the value, NALA will answer. And finally, if you integrate this in the daily process, sometimes that helps the teams to be able to perform better. How? Basically, because you won't get your CEO asking you, hey, how did it go yesterday? Or I need to call one of our sales engineers to understand how can I create a dashboard or how can I get the data that I'm looking for. Ask it and you will get it. So again, as a product manager myself, we need to make use of data to take decisions. Why did we do this step? Why did we decide to use this NALA chatbot in order to help our customers? Well, first of all, by looking at the data that we collected and also some other surveys available in the market, we see that basically 27% of the online global population is using voice search on mobile. For example, in our case, our platform is available as a native app in the mobile phone, and it's really simple to just take it out, ask a question, see the data, instead of having to navigate through the application. You don't have enough hands and then it's easy for you to do a voice search. Also, 71% of consumers prefer to conduct queries by voice instead of typing. Sometimes, typing, you have typos, then the system doesn't understand you, even though Nala is pretty prepared to manage that, but you commit typos and you don't know what is going on, that the system is not answering, for example. Also, 48% of consumers use voice technology for several search queries. And finally, making a question, it's easier rather than loading a screen. Make a question, it answers in a few milliseconds, and then you see the answer on your screen. So this is a very simple example that we have. Basically here, Nala, it says, I'm Nala, how may I help you? Then you ask the question, then you say, show me the number of plays in the US last quarter by day. Then Nala understands that you want to see an evolution, a day-by-day evolution of that specific metric, which we call it plays, or the video sessions that are actually being started by the end users, and then it just prints you out. This is very simple to understand, this graph here. So as you can see, no data analytics skills are needed. You don't need to manage databases, you need to manage any complex queries, you need to manage thousands of clicks to create a dashboard. You ask a question, you get it. It's also facilitating the access to those data sets for everybody. Also, it reduces the data search time and the preparation time. So you actually know what you want to see. You can take a screenshot, send it to your boss, or from the mobile application, you can actually get that widget and send it as a WhatsApp, Telegram, any other any other application that you want to share this with, and you can do it and actually get immediate answers without having to think about how you will build that solution. So this is basically the power that AI and ML that can provide us when using our NPAW suite. If you want to know more though, basically I know that maybe that example was not that fancy or sexy for you, but every day at 4:30 p.m. in our booth, as I said over there, we are running some demos that you can actually see how Nala can answer. For example, more information about user churn, which is metrics that we have, plays per device, getting more filtered out data. Also, we need to understand that Nala has contextual information. So you can actually have like a conversation. You need to start over. If you ask the plays in the last quarter and then you say, and what about last day or last week, sorry, then it can show you the plays by last week because it remembers. It's something that it's there. The system actually understands the context. So I would like to invite you, because we also have beers and tapas. We are from Barcelona, so this is our drill. This is our what we are doing really well. And thank you very much for attending this presentation.